Okay, so um I guess I have really decided that I do want to talk all about my life all the time. And so I really want to hold the feelings that I have right now. I really want to like honor and cherish them and um get all like excited and giddy and keep that. So let me back. I am crushing right now. Okay, so I had a client. Stop texting me. I had a client, and so he's studying for his exam, and he was messaging me. And a few days ago, he actually asked for like a phone call, and I was like, "Bro, I don't pass out phone calls for free." That's not how I said it, but I said I'm not available for outbound phone calls. So no, I mean it's like $1,000 to pay to work with me. I can't call you. But anyway, and it was frustrating too because he sent me pictures for the property exam, but then was talking about life and health, and I was like, wait a minute. And apparently he was doing all of them, but he didn't pass the first one, so he just still went on to the next one, and I was so confused. But anyway, he messaged, we had talked a little bit more. I was giving him some advice about his exam, whatever, providing him with, great customer service and support from the insurance exam queen. And then he sent me another message today. He was like, hey, real quick, like if you could just give me a call. And I was like, fine, whatever. I was just kind of bored. So I was like, I'll call him. And so I called him, and then within just like, it was instant. I could feel it. Like I was like his voice, his accent. I was like, I'm into this. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we were talking about the test, talking about what's going on, and actually, he told me some things about. It was more about like what he said and like how he said it, and he was talking about, why he's taking this exam and what has been going on with his life and everything that led up to this moment of taking the exam. Because I was like, you need to explain to me why you're taking 4 exams without passing them. Like, why did you do what you did? So we were talking about all of this, and then I said something about where I was or whatever, and I was like, well, I'm up here. He's in Illinois because that's where he's taking his state exam. And I was like, yeah, I'm in Michigan. I'm not that far away. And I was like, on my way home, I can swing by and come visit. And then he was like, yeah, that would be cool. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm serious. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And then we kind of started talking about like something else. And then it got, and eventually we got more and more comfortable. And I really loved talking to him. I was having like such a good time. I'm like laughing and giggling. I like, again, he's funny. Like his voice was, he has his accent, which I really like. And, so we're just talking some more. And then eventually the joke gets a little, we have some like sexual jokes or whatever. And or actually it was a joke about, I stole this from my cousin because it was so glorious. He said, the pros of dating me is my mouth, the cons of dating me is my mouth. And I was like, yes, I love that. So we were talking about how we curse or whatever. He's like, excuse my French. And I was like, well, if that's French, I'm fluent in French because I curse nonstop. And I've been working on like not cursing all the time, and I'm pretty decent when I'm around, the children, and I try when I'm on video not to curse, but we started cursing it up, whatever. And so I said that, and he's like, does that line work? And I said, well, I don't know, I put it on my dating profile, let me go look. And I was like, actually, I haven't been messaged in a long time, so it's not working, I should take it down. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot my shot, and I'm single, and I was like, yeah. And and like, I'm sorry, he's like, oh, I'm so buzzing so much. And I was like, well, yeah, like we already established. He's like, if it's not clear, like I like you. And I was like, yeah, I was like, we kind of established that. I was like, when I was like, I'll come visit you, like I'll see you on my way back to Vegas. And he's like, yeah, anytime. And he's like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, yeah, we definitely confirmed that we were already digging each other. So we just had like just a really super fun, amazing conversation. And like I just want to like hold like the feeling that I'm having right now, and the joy of like being like having a spark with someone, and like and being able to have conversations and laughing and giggling. And like now this is a weird time in when you're like when you're wanting to date, or you're wanting to have a partner, or you're wanting, you know, to or you have that joy of like, oh my gosh, this could be something. There's like so many directions that we can go with this. And my prior direction was not very productive, because my prior direction would be like worrying and obsessing, like being excited, but then also like being worried and obsessing, like, am I doing the right stuff? Am I behaving the right way? Am I saying the right things? I don't want to scare him off, you know, like things like that. Like immediately jumping into things about how you need to change yourself or do certain things because you like this person and you want to be able to get to know them longer. And how do you make sure that you get to keep them interested in you, and you want to keep these, you know, fuzzy feelings? You might be inclined to want to change things about yourself or keep up appearances, and or you might begin obsessing and worrying if they don't, you know, like, okay, like this feels so good. This feels so good. Like this feels like our conversations feel so good. This is so amazing. Giggling and laughing the entire time. Like I'm already like excited about texting him. We've already been sending, you know, pictures to each other. He's hilarious. It feels so good. And there could be such a strong desire to be like, I want to keep feeling this good, like no matter what. Like this feeling is very addicting. It's giddy. It sends like tingles through your body. In fact, I told him, I was like, in the middle of our conversation, I was like, would you stop it? You're making me clammy. I was like, I'm getting hot with you talking. And so like it's a whole body sensation when you're crushing on someone, especially at the beginning, you know. And it's important that we kind of in some way recognize that those feelings can be, that it doesn't necessarily mean like forever, like, but our stories and our minds may be like, yeah, I want to build this relationship with this person. This feels so good. I want to feel this every day. This is amazing. And you might like twist yourself into a pretzel to become some version of yourself to keep that happening, which is something that I did in a lot of my past. Women tend to have this thing where we will chameleon after the person. And in fact, in Eat, Pray, Love, they made a joke about the Julia Roberts character, how she looked like each one of her boyfriends. Or the other movie with Drew Barry, where I forget the name of it, but she always eats her eggs the same way her boyfriend does, and she didn't know what type of eggs that she liked for herself. And so one day she like made eggs all these different ways to find out which type of egg she liked, so that she wasn't just liking the egg that the guy liked, right? So with all of these things, when at the very beginning of this, when these feelings are so intense and you're so excited and your body is clammy and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see his text again. Like a lot of like that feeling is awesome and amazing, and love that feeling. I'm not telling you to have any other feelings about that feeling other than, oh, Runaway Bride, that was called. Yes, other than those feelings. Yes, have those feelings. I'm going to eat them up. I'm going to ride this as long as this goes. I'm having a good time. As long as it's fun texting him and calling him, I'm going to keep doing that. But as long as I'm being myself, right? Like I want to make sure I'm being myself, and that I'm not changing anything about me and or creating stories for worry and anxiety or anything like that. Like what if he doesn't text me tomorrow? And then I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, you can think all these things, especially when these feelings are so high. Like I'm telling you, this is a full body experience talking to him. I felt it at every level of my body, from my toes to my head to my skin to my insides and my outsides. I fully enjoyed this conversation. It was a full body experience, and it was amazing and so incredible. Of course, I'm going to want to feel that again. And so, you know, if I don't receive a text, I can begin building thoughts in my head. I can begin saying a lot of things to myself, like, oh, he's ghosting you, just like all those other 20 million guys who've ghosted you. Like, no one wants to love you. No one actually wants to stick around. Or He's going to end up mistreating you and all of these things. He's going to do awful things or whatever. Like you're feel good now, but it's going to be ruined. What we do is we take past experiences, we build a story from what happened, and then we project that story onto the new person. We do this with like everything, with your life, the way you grew up, the way you think about money, the way that you do your house, anything that your parents showed you, you made a story about how that thing is, and then, or what to expect in a relationship, what a marriage looks like according to what your parents did. You write this little story about marriages, about relationships, about how to treat each other, and then you project it onto the person that you're with, and it skews what's actually going on. This is why a lot of couples fight, because both people are projecting a different image, and they're fighting thinking that they're talking about the same thing, and they're not. Most of the arguments that you have with people, you guys are fighting or talking about two different things, but you can't see it because of your perception is clouding you and blinding you to what is actually happening. This is what holding space means. Holding space is where you're able to hear someone's side perspective without any opinion or judgment of your own. How many times does someone do something or something's going on with a person and you have to insert your own opinion or your own belief about it and not allow them to just feel what they feel, right? So like if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm feeling sad, and then I try to insert an opinion or anything about it, like, well, you shouldn't be sad. Look at all these happy things you have in your life. I'm not holding space. I am pushing them. I'm trying to get them to close down how they're feeling and trying to get them to take on my feeling. That's not holding. Holding space is saying, however you think and feel right now is totally valid. I'm here for you. No opinions of mine, no judgments of mine, no past experiences of mine. I will not perceive this in some way. I will just accept you as a human being, as you are in this moment, in this experience. I am here for you. I love you, period. That is holding space. When you say, I love you, but you shouldn't talk to me like that, and I love you, but you should really fix your attitude because you're shitty. Well, I love you, but you could really, that's not holding space. That is like pointing fingers and like whatever. So like, I don't know how I got on this fucking tangent what we were talking about before, but the big thing I wanted to talk about was like the initial feelings at the beginning, the honest conversations that you have. That was one thing that I really do love, with David. He left me in April, but like our conversations at the beginning were so honest. Like we told each other like things that like you just don't tell somebody, which now I'm an open book. I'll tell everybody everything, because the more I tell you, the more you can relate to me, the more that we can resonate with each other, the more that we can lift each other up. So I'm all about the truth everywhere all the time. But those honest conversations at the beginning, and especially the biggest thing for me that I really loved about the conversation I had today with this man was that I didn't change like what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. I didn't change how I laughed. I didn't change how I talked. And I also like allowed myself to say what I wanted to say. I told him I liked him. I told him he was making me clammy. I told him that I was into him. I told him, I didn't hold anything back about what I was thinking or feeling, and that it was that, and I was relaying to him that I was very into him. I was very into this conversation, that I found him attractive. Like it was obvious. And that was so beautiful. I don't know that I've ever really had such a conversation like that before. I feel like I was always somewhat reserved. Like I feel like I had to, be careful about how I behaved or what I said. If I showed that I was too interested, then he might think I'm crazy and a 5-stage clinger. Or if I show him too interested, he might get the wrong idea and I need to do something else first in order to then share with him how I feel. Like, I don't want any of those things. I just want to be authentically me and exactly how I feel right now, which was sweaty and clammy. And I was like, would you stop it? And he's like, I know you're blushing right now. I was like, of course you can hear it and feel it in my voice. I'm blushing right now. Yeah, so that was freaking awesome. Now, another big thing about like relationships. So let's say, we talk for a little bit, things are great, and then it ends or whatever. Like, this is, like we base so much of our worth on our relationship. So when we get a relationship, we enter this new phase of like, I'm worthy. Someone else says I'm worthy. Someone else says that I'm cool enough to hang out with. Someone else thinks that, I'm sexy. Someone else wants to touch me. Someone else thinks my body is cool. Like it's this, and your level of worth like rises especially if you don't have a lot of self-worth, which most of us do not have any self-worth because it's beaten out of us when we're children. When you go, the way that your parents talk to you, my stepmom put me down all the time, left and right. She was always insulting me, always telling me I was fat, always telling me that my clothes were awful or whatever, and that I needed to dress different, and that stripes make you fatter, and you can't wear certain things, and you need to act like a lady, you need to do all these things. My dad would call me a moron and an idiot all the time. Like self-worth is minimal. And then even if your parents are amazing and lovely and wonderful, you go to school and your worth is based on how good you can spell and how good you can do math and not like who you are. So self-worth is like a remote idea to most of us. We have no fucking idea what self-worth is. And so the only way we see it is when someone else says, I want to hang out with you. And then you're like, oh, I'm worth the time, attention, love, and affection of another human. I am worthy. And it like activates this whole other level of you that was shut down, pushed down, kept away from you for so long because you were so degraded as a child that you weren't receiving the full access of love that you are. You had to deny yourself so many times because your parents didn't know how to manage and control their own emotions. They made you be the manager of their emotions. You are making me so mad right now. Shut up and go to your room. Like that parent cannot control their own emotion to be stable. And so they must make the child shut up. Because if you saying something to me makes me be mad and I don't know what to do with being mad, so I'm just going to yell at you to be quiet. That is not emotional control. We don't learn emotional control at all in this country or world, even perhaps. But all of that relates to your self-worth because people mistreat you constantly because they don't know how to manage their emotions. And so we're less and less worthy. And then our parents, like, the people-pleasing thing, like our parents would keep love conditional. I will love you if you can do your chores. I will love you if you keep your mouth shut. I will love you if you get good grades. I will love you if, whatever, if you're on the sports, whatever the hell it is, okay? Like parents, they mean their best, right? They just want us to do well on school. They want us to do well in life. They want us to be successful, and they think that withholding love will somehow encourage us to do that. But that is the last thing that should be taken from us trying to build up a human. You don't build up a human with a lack of love. How do you raise a human without love or taking away love? Like that just blows my mind. Like even a flower that you plant in the ground, if you treat one flower lovingly and another flower mean, they have proven scientifically the flower will grow. When you talk to it lovingly, when you sing songs to it, it grows, it flourishes better than ever. You talk awful to it, it dies. And how often is it, for my childhood, it was very often for my father to just be like, you're a damn moron. You're so dumb. You guys are ruining everything. Like he would say, like, you're the reason, you're the cause of all my problems. You're setting these traps for me. Like he just said so many things all the time, putting us down all the time. My stepmom all the time, putting us down. Zero self-worth. And I know this is common for a lot of people because I've talked to you. I've seen you. I can see you walking around without your self-worth. I can see it. I could feel it. It's happening. And so when we have one other human who says, I want to be in a relationship with you because I think you're worthy, and then we're like, oh my God, I'm worthy. And then we become addicted to that person and that feeling of being worthy that has been taken from you like most of your life because of how you've been raised and the experiences you've had, and maybe perhaps the people that you've dated. That your lack of worth is so low or non-existent that another person showing you any of it is the only reason you hang on to this person, even though everything about them screams, don't be with, this is bad. And that's another thing that was an Eat, Pray, Love. Oh my gosh. Like he said, let's admit that this relationship is shitty, but that it's better to be together than to be apart, even though none of us are happy, just so that we're not alone. Like he's like, I would rather, he's like, let's have the word, like we know it's a bad relationship. We know we shouldn't be together, but at least we're not alone. That is the level that most people meet other people at for relationships. And I'm no longer meeting people at that level. Like I'm with you because it's better to be with you than to be alone. That's like, what? Because we end up getting addicted to that I'm worthy thing, that some other human says I'm worthy enough to be loved, because we're missing it from all the times we got dinged by our parents, we got dinged by the school system, we got put down, we got bullied, we got told we're not worthy, our words didn't matter, our emotions didn't matter. Nobody around us taught us emotional control so we can understand our own feelings. We never talk about feelings like enough. We don't talk about emotions. We don't talk about what these things are. We don't talk about how it impacts your body. We don't talk about how it impacts your mind. We don't talk about how they're all connected. This is something that is missing within a normal conversation between humans. How are you? Good. Yeah, what's everything? I'm fine. Yeah, good. Yeah. Like, that's the basics of some of our conversations. Like, we should, and then like within family, like talking about certain things is going to trigger another person because they haven't dealt with their own fucking emotions. And all these people are walking around with zero emotional intelligence. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am just, believing the things I believe and doing the thing like, Anyway, when you are lacking in that self-worth, a new relationship is like the best, because it's an immediate hit, this is going to make me feel good, and fully honor that. Like, I love that. I love that you can love the beginning of love. I'm not telling you to experience it differently, but just don't let the next experience of maybe it ends to send you back further into lower self-worth than what you were before. Because that's when it's a problem. It's not a problem that this person helps you to feel worthy. I am very grateful for all the ways that David made me feel worthy, and worthy to be seen, worthy to be heard. That man has done so much for my life, and everything going forward will have his thumbprint on it. And I'm happy because it has made my life infinitely better than what it was prior to meeting him. And I am 100% worthy on my own now because of what I saw reflected back about me in David. He never not told me how amazing I was to him and for him. He always expressed his love. He always expressed how much I impacted his life and how amazing of a human I was. He always encouraged my crazy ass costume shit. I would dress myself up so crazy sometimes to go out, and he never not once encouraged anything that I wanted to do. He bought me some of the most amazing Christmas presents I ever received, which encouraged me to go after what I wanted and not just what my family wanted. And like, fuck, like, it's amazing. That relationship was amazing. And I am honored and blessed to have been married to him, and to have lived with him, and to have gone on the journey with him. And with all the love and light in my body, I can say goodbye. It's okay. And I'm not gonna need another human to have to fill any hole. Oh my God, to fill an emotional lack of self-worth. I almost said fill a hole. Yes, I do want someone else to fill a hole. Actually, yes, I do very much want that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not going to have to need another person to validate my worth. I'm not going to, I don't have to have another human reflect back to me that I am valuable and worthy of being seen, that I am valuable and worthy of being heard, that I am valuable, that I deserve a stage to talk, to be heard, to put myself out there. And David is the reason that is possible today. I mean, sure, 100% other people have played roles. Of course. But the amount of growth that I got to experience within my marriage to David was amazing. And I am so thankful, and I can say goodbye too. And it's okay that when the reason that it's so hard to say goodbye to people, the reason that it's so hard to pick yourself off the floor after a relationship, like it's funny to me. I've been dwelling on this for a minute now, how if a car stops working, we call it a breakdown. So when a car, my car broke down, the car stopped working. But when we end a relationship, we call it a breakup. And I'm like, why do we call it breakup? Like, I'm confusing, because if up is usually considered better, good. If you go up in income, right, that's good. You go up, in things, that's good. Usually up is good and down is bad. So I'm like, okay, a car stops working. If a relationship stops working, wouldn't it be a breakdown? But we call it a break up. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking embrace that. Like a break up. I'm going to break up. I'm going to break apart the shit that I didn't want. There was a lot of shit. I am so sorry, David. I am so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry for all the trauma and the triggers that I still had within my body that got projected onto you. I am so sorry. I didn't know how to communicate. I used words to hurt you. I said many negative things towards you. I attacked your sexuality. I attacked the way you, so many things, like, oh my God, like so many fucking things. Because in a triggered or traumatized state, I was taught to say the most worst, painful thing about that person to that person to get them to shut up, to get them to stop. That's how my family operated. You would say something painful to them to get them to stop arguing with you or to just shut their mouth, because in humility, people give up. And so I was humiliated all the time. To me, it felt like, not what? You say the worst, what? Say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't give a shit. Like, so I would say, because I knew, like, oh, once the fight's over, it doesn't matter. None of that words mattered. Those were swords. Swords aren't us. We put them down. But to other people who don't carry swords, who didn't grow up like that, it's very fucking painful, all the shit that I said to people and how painful it was. And in fact, my daughter gave me some servings of it on my birthday. and if she wasn't so much like me, I might have been mad. But, I did the same stuff she did. And that's why I'm able to forgive her and acknowledge what she's going through and, like, grow. Because relationships are about growth. At the end of the day, you're never promised anything. Even if the person is the love of your life and never would have left you, but they got hit by a car. What are you going to do? Like, stop thinking that everything is all or nothing. It's not all or nothing. It's just living every day. Acknowledge what you have today. Experience and love what you have today. And whatever happens tomorrow happens tomorrow. You'll deal with it when it's today. Just take care of today. And are you feeling good today? Are you enjoying what's happening today? Like, let's just do today. And today, I feel so good. I feel so good after this conversation. It was a full body experience. I have tingles. I'm excited to text him. and to send him a picture. But I really need to go help my mom because I already talked to him for a long time, and then like I came down here and probably did this for a long time, so I need to go upstairs. All right, love you all. Have a beautiful day.